dance around the facts.
Walker's pure extract. Our island ginger will give you back what you like, and it's the only cure you need. We'll have you stepping like a steam. If you're not happy, bring it back. Walker's pure extract. Pick your boys and wives and boys, there's something going around. Thought we had it figured out till the USTD found. We can get our kicks in this little bottle for the sick. They can be getting hard to take. Morality will surely fill our cups. Drink it up. Ooh, yeah. Walker's pure extract. What you like, and it's the only cure you need. We'll have you stepping like a steed. If you're not happy, bring it back. Walker's pure extract. Weights and measures, how does it boil down? The bootlegger's treasure, finding ways to get around.
I kind of consider myself a Tampa Bay area musician. I play pretty frequently in St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater fairly regularly at one venue, and I live here in Sarasota. I don't play a ton of shows down here in Sarasota because I do a lot of original music. It's a little bit harder to find a gig for me. I have had great success. A guy named Court Ferris that's booked me down on Siesta Key. I play down there about once a week, and more of the gigs that I play down here are kind of like restaurant gigs, background music, private party kind of events. St. Pete, you know, I could play a place like the Hideaway owned by John Kelly and his family, and it's more of a listening room where, you know, it's encouraged to play original music, talk about the songs that you've written.
So the local scene is abundant. There's a ton of artists, fantastic singer-songwriters, and we want to be like the stamp of like, hey, we support you, and we want to help you, and let's let the Hideaway do that. Recording, video, and of course just like a live performance venue.
And then Tampa, there's some breweries up there and some good restaurants. Clearwater, the place I play is an actual restaurant, but they actually do pay attention pretty well. It's just weird depending on the area and what they expect or what they're used to. You know, you can play a restaurant gig on Siesta Key for 3 hours and not have anybody really respond to your music. I've learned to kind of understand that that's kind of part of, you know, doing this as on a full-time basis, but that's also what leads me to want to tour and play other places and play, you know, showcase gigs with other bands where you're doing your best 45 to 50 minutes of original material and you know, sharing a night with another artist. I think that happens a little bit more in St. Pete and Tampa, maybe certain venues, and then a lot of the stuff on the road is kind of, you know, the restaurant gigs help with money and food. They're not always, you always get a lot of response, but sometimes people are really paying attention. The tips will come in, people will be complimentary, they'll sign up in the mailing list or they'll buy a CD. So just sometimes their silence doesn't always mean they're not paying attention. I guess I talk about that as part of the music scene because I think that's a lot of what the music scene here is in Sarasota from my... And I had a couple come out from Bradenton, and they told me tonight that the guy's mother had passed away. They played Godspeed at her funeral, and so that was one of those things that happen with live original music, or that's one of those things that happen with original music where, you know, make a connection with somebody like that. really important and special. That's the kind of things that I think we all hope for and strive for, that you make that deep of a connection with somebody. It's amazing how much two people that like what you do enough and are there, how much of a difference that can make.
I wanted to be all things to everyone. I wanted to see all the sides and figure it out. I wanna be free from all my worries. I heard there's something come to me and set me free. I know you wanna fight. I know sometimes you wanna break down. Always asking yourself why. Instead of just feeling what's around you, yeah. I sing a song to myself. I sing a song to myself. I don't think about taking a back seat. I'm tired of it being so easy to feel defeated. I don't wanna be part of a passed down legacy, no. I never standing up unless it was time to run. I know you wanna fight. I know sometimes you wanna break down. Always asking yourself why. Instead of just feeling what's around you, yeah.
This is Dean Johanesen on The Journey. We talked to you a little bit about music education, how it's influenced me. I guess the education part has influenced me quite a bit as far as what the kind of music that I'm making now that's more inspired by swing and jazz era stuff. I'd always kind of been a fan in the college days of like Joe Pass and Tuck Andrus, a little bit of New Age, like Michael Hedges was one of my guitar heroes. Earlier than that, it was rock bands, Led Zeppelin. But I feel like I've gone through the phases of listening to everybody as a guitar player that I was supposed to, from Clapton, Hendrix, Jimmy Page was kind of more of my guitar hero. Then I switched into jazz and with the college thing, and then I got out of that and I was in rock bands for a while and just doing kind of like, I guess, like the Doors and Stones and some Zeppelin stuff, and then kind of got into the 90s era of Nirvana and Soundgarden, Pearl Jam, that kind of thing. More recently, I've kind of dipped back into the jazz thing and I've been studying Django Reinhardt's music and getting back into gypsy jazz. But a lot of that stuff I started writing before I was really kind of turned on to Django. And I thought I was kind of doing sort of gypsy jazz or swing stuff. And then a friend of mine, Phil Traynor, turned me on to Django, or said to look into the chord forms that he was using. And that kind of opened up my mind to that style of music. I guess the education part comes in where, like, knowing what chords are going to work together, what scales you can use over those chords. And then for me, it's just, I guess I learned a lot about just listening. Like, listening is a big part of the education, learning from listening to other players or listening to the music, listening for melodies that you hear in your head, and kind of, I guess, the education of knowing sort of the scales and the chords behind what you're doing has helped me sort of fine tune or get to where I need to go or what I'm hearing a little bit quicker. So the education part has been a big influence, but I think there's an importance of balance between overthinking what you know about theory and kind of pulling off of things that you know that just feel good and sound right to you.
A tune called Little Yellow Leaf I wrote after a visit up to the Smoky Mountain Songwriter Festival, Gatlinburg, and was inspired to write this tune from that trip.
Take me back to North Carolina, where the rivers run and the butterfly play. Sweet the smell of red wild mountain flowers. It's where wanna rest come Judgment Day. Oh, see that little yellow leaf that's falling. I do believe something over me is calling. Oh, sit around the steel's jet to roam, singing that train as far as she'll go. Little yellow leaf got me thinking about home, getting back to my baby.
So my passion for music, I think, is grown. It's weird when you're younger, you have all the passion and time in the world to do it, and as you get older, that starts to kind of wane a little bit as far as your time goes. But I don't think the passion for it has ever changed or or has ever lessened. There's something in me that's just kind of, I don't see ever stopping. I just see kind of hopefully keep continuing to grow, be interested in it, and continue that passion for making the music that I want to make, playing the gigs that I want to play, touring and seeing the world, hopefully from the States to Europe to beyond. I think it's a wonderful thing to create music and think of a song that maybe you started in your bedroom or your home studio, and you send it out to a venue and they accept you to play, or your festival, and a little idea that you had in your room takes you to a brand new place, a new city, a new state with new people listening to you. It's a really wonderful thing, and so that's the kind of passion that I have, and the goals and interests that I have in making music. All right, folks, tonight's journey journal entry is going to be loading up the truck. I've got a 2-week tour to Texas and back home. Shows are going to range anywhere from restaurant gigs where I'm playing 3 hours to showcase gigs where I've got 45 minutes. I've got technically the 12th of March through the 27th of March on the road, and I'll be playing Panama City, Ocean Springs, Mississippi, Beaumont, Texas, Houston, Austin, Dallas, San Antonio, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana, Lake Charles, Louisiana, a couple shows in Gainesville before I get back home. So I'm going to go through the process of loading up the truck so everything fits just right. I've got stuff for PA, merchandise, and of course I've got clothes and all that stuff, but for right now I'm just going to focus on what I need to play all the different gigs that I'm going to be doing over the next couple weeks. So without further ado, here's the loading. On his title. Loading the truck, 2 suitcases of merch, 1 suitcase of CDs, PA, mixer, pedal board, percussion items, stomp box, and tip jar, all in the back of the Highlander Hotel. All right. Yesterday I left Sarasota, had about a 7-hour drive to the gig, and couldn't sleep too much the night before, trying to make sure I had everything prepared for this tour. So I was a little tired last night. Probably took me about a set and a half to feel like I was in the groove, so to speak. The response was great, which is good, but it is a little bit sometimes hard to be road and just weary in general, and have to jump out after 7 hours and set up for a gig and play 3 hours and break back down for an hour. Not to complain, it's part of the job, and I know that, but just trying to, I guess, share some truth about that part of it. Trying to keep the runs down to 4 or 5 hours if I can, especially with me driving all by myself. It would be different if I had somebody to help out in that regard, but doing it by myself, it can be a little bit of a strain.
Can you give me 3 words that best describe your sound?
Integrity, hard work, tenacity.
You go out and you see music and of all different styles, all different genres, but every now and then you come across something that's unique and just top notch, and that's my man Dean back there.
great musician, great friend. I think that his lyrics are really good. I think he really speaks to you, and I think he's just so true in everything he says in his songs, and his music's so tight. He never seems to make a mistake, and very clean, and I just really enjoy it.
So what does it mean for artists to, I mean, how hard is it for you to get out to listen to your fellow artist friends' shows?
It's not that it's hard, it's just time usually doesn't allow it. You know, as a musician, you really need to be a fan first, I think, and I'm a big fan. So in my time off, I do like to go out and hear good music. The problem is getting the time off. It being Monday night, worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
Worked out pretty good.
Everything the Dean attempted, he made a success of it. It didn't matter where he worked or what he did. He gave everything he was to it.
Dean Johanesen from The Journey, here to talk about mentors from my early days. Top of the list would probably be my mom, a musician and guitar player. When I was young, I remember sitting in her lap, strumming the guitar, and she would change the chords, and I was able to kind of hear music in that way. One of the guys I took lessons from, Stan Wright, in New York, was a huge help. I had taken a lot of lessons with a lot of different people, but Stan kind of gave me the tools, kind of showed me a lot of things about theory, music, different chords, what scales would work with the chords, the pattern of how the chords work together with major and minor combinations, and he really prepped me for starting college. And then my friend Pat, like I said, is a bass player in New York that I lived with for a while, and kind of really turned me on to, or inspired me to kind of think about original music a little bit more, writing my own tunes, playing things that matter to me. So for mentors, those were probably the big ones for me, between my mom, my stepdad, and the Beatles books, my friend Pat and Stan Wright. Feeling really fortunate about these connections that I'm making on the road, and the people that are having me back and helping me get gigs. In all honesty, if it wasn't for these friendships that I built, I don't know if I'd be able to kind of do these tours and have the success. So between the people that are supporting me at the venues and the folks that are coming out to see me play after I've met them in certain cities, and it just means the world. Pretty beat, in all honesty, today. It's been a rough run. I had a 9-hour drive and a few hours of sleeping, and then traffic has been a little sketchy, so I've probably been on the road for 10 hours, 12 hours maybe. So I'm a little burnt out.
It's called Strike Up the Band. Strike up the band. Everyone can be so weak. Oh, this strong house back in the temple. Someday even see those pearly gates. Open center for the show, and jammers take the place and blow notes upon the page. Score that stands to span the ages. 2 days pass upon the tracks. 16 lives won't make it back. This train won't crash. Cease the heart. The night will count in March. Whoa.
You can't wait for inspiration. You got to get to work, and if you love what you do, or if you want to create, you got to just make time to create, even if you're not feeling creative. And I've kind of subscribed to that. Challenges, I think, are more related to the business of music, and and I guess it kind of goes hand in hand with the creative part of it too. It's always a challenge to kind of keep the gigs up, keep the promotions up, keep it touring up, and work on new music, record that music and get it out there. And that's why, talking about earlier, just like what do I need at this point? It's like a team of people to help book and promote would be great, and do some of the data processing as far as calendar updates and that kind of thing. I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do that stuff, and I have to at this point. But I'd much rather be writing a song than a press release. But it all has to happen. So those are some of the challenges: making all that stuff happen and still being creative and writing and doing what you love to do. Travel if you roam.
I've yet to travel every road, a city, country, state, and nation. A million miles more to go. I set my sights on the horizon. Every night I shoot the moon. Passing days, I'm realizing it's the road ahead that gets me through. I'm here to travel every road, a city, country, state, and nation. I'm many miles up. Just for the weary.
It's going to be shocking what I'm going to do here for a second. Just bear with me.
Lightning bolt.
Whoa! No. What are you doing to my masterpiece?
We're all standing.
We need a DI also.
I got a DI on my.
DI has a little bottom. Yeah, I like that. Yay. You guys alright with that?
It ain't about the destination. I've yet to travel every road, a city, country, state, or nation. How many miles more to go? I set my sights on the horizon. Every night I shoot the moon. On the passing days I'm realizing it's the road ahead that gets me through. And there's no rest for the weary, and there's so much more to learn. Lighting both ends of the candle and working hard to beat the burn. And we're all standing in the shadows, those in blaze that trail before. A fire sparked by the desire to shed a little light on something more. I don't question why I ramble, I know the reason that I roam. The road become my destination, the road become my journey home.
It's called The Road, inspired by this journey process. Thank you guys very much for challenging us to write a tune.